council with me during the speech, so your time will come. But we have some amazing stakeholders and partners that are vital for our city, for our community, and for our region. I want to start by welcoming not a real new voice to Civic Affairs. I've been talking to her for years, but she's in a new position in Wyandotte County in Northeast Kansas and leading our region. I'm going to ask Mayor and CEO Crystal Watts from the Unified Government to stand up. Now, Crystal, if I say anything salty, it's about Johnson County. Don't worry, it ain't. I will also make sure I note today that we have a number of friends from Jackson County, and we are blessed to be joined by the members of the Jackson County Legislature who are with us today. Could y'all please stand up and be recognized? Also from Jackson County is a gentleman who really is ready for almost anything. In just a few months, he has brought wonderful leadership. He is somebody who is clear, who is consistent, and in my view, is everywhere. County Executive Phil Lavota, we're honored to have you. If you know Kansas City, you know that there are a number of different organizations and agencies that are an important part of how we are able to lead each and every day. One of those agencies that does vital work for us is the Kansas City Board of Police Commissioners. I serve as one of 5 commissioners, the other 4 appointed by the governor of Missouri, and a fantastic appointment, and someone who I try to get in trouble to all the time. But he said his hair is already gray, so I can't do anything to him. Tom Whitaker, the chairman of the Board of Police Commissioners. And someone else working to ensure that the World Cup that we've talked about already today is something that has an impact in every community, in every part of our region, and making a difference for all of us and leaving a lasting legacy, is the CEO of KC 2026, Ms. Pam Kramer. And then I'm saving her for last because she just worked here so long. Somebody who I have been blessed to know as a friend, someone who is doing an exceptional job as a prosecutor, talking to folks in every part of our community, law enforcement, the community, folks who have been justice involved, everyone. We are so proud to have back our prosecutor and our friend, Melissa Johnson Jackson. I'll get started, but every day, those of us on city council, those of us who are elected, kind of give these folks some challenges sometimes, but they always love working with us. Our department directors, folks that do outstanding work, making sure that they can deliver on the important goals that we set in this chamber and make sure that delivery happens each and every day. Could our Kansas City department directors please stand up as well for us? Fire Chief, I'm going to let you know, you can sit near the front too. We love you as well, but I love where you're rolling. Well, there are a few things that I will try to mention today, and then I'll manage to get out of your hair ultimately. First, I want to say thank you to Floyd May for being here. Floyd, as CEO of the Civic Council, for those who don't know a lot about the Civic Council, they are our leading business and philanthropic organizations. Their role is a simple one, to make sure that they are collaborating with government, with others in the business community, with governments all around our community, and our business leaders. They recognize, and something I said earlier today, so I'll use it again, that public-private partnership has another important P, and that's the people. And they make sure that whether it is the public sector, the private sector, philanthropy, or our community and neighborhoods, we need all involved. Floyd has been on the job for just a little while, although he's been in our community for a lifetime. We are honored to work with you. Myself and my colleagues on the City Council look forward to building an exceptional relationship, and I thank you for being here with us today. Floyd May, ladies and gentlemen. So Kansas City was founded back in 1850, which means that we are still celebrating our 175th year. And as we think about our 175 years since the incorporation of a place called Kansas, Missouri, what it's worth. We recognize the challenges we've been through, many internal, some existential, but in ways large and small that the city has delivered for its people. As City Council and City staff, we represent many stories, many backgrounds with united success. I think about how much I'm honored to serve with my colleagues each and every day. All of you come from interesting backgrounds. Some of you, hopefully she's watching somewhere, like Councilwoman Robinson, I remember listening to on the Generation Rap on KPRS back in the day. And of course, with our staff, we have the chance of working with some of the most experienced, dynamic people around. Our stories start in different places. For our city manager, Mario Vasquez, his story took him from Bolivia to Wisconsin to Brookside. And over almost 3 decades in city government and 8 months as city manager. He has exhibited diligence, candor, respect to each and every one of us. Mario, it's an honor for us to work with you. We're proud of the work you're doing, and we look forward to more success ahead. Please recognize Mario Vasquez. I also think of 175 years of the people like Mr. Polk and others who have shown up to work. That spirit of delivery by our employees was seen in our most recent snowstorm, where Aaron and so many others, and I see some of my friends from Public Works here, and Parks, and Water, and others. Hundreds of employees left their homes, showed up in the coldest weather of the year. They worked long shifts, and they got our city moving. And Mr. Polk, who corrected me, he has not worked here for 30 years, worked here for 29, so I guess he's just warming up. But despite his rank, his tenure, he was out there delivering. 12-hour shifts, several days straight. Aaron, your colleagues, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for working with us during snow events. Thank those of you who are out there on the hottest days of the year. Those who are working on sanitation trucks, reviewing permits, keeping our money right, ensuring our kids have their immunizations, protecting public safety in our community. We thank you so much for the work that you do each day, and indeed, it's a lot of the work that we try to do each day to make sure that you're taken care of. I also think of good people like KCFD firefighter paramedic Graham Holland, who was taken from us too young at the age of 29. He spent his young life working for the people of Kansas City, making sure that we could all be safer, and helped us recognize the risks that so many take each year working for the people of Kansas City. At the core of our $2.5 billion budget for the next fiscal year, and by the way, it was about $1.5 billion when I started in this chamber. So at our $2.5 billion budget, it's people. It's people like Aaron. It's people like Major Thompson. It's employees in this room and it's staff working out in the field. They deliver a world-class city, prepared, yes, for 2026, but also working each day to make sure that life is better for big events and small. Making sure that the roads and sidewalks are a little bit smoother. Making sure that our 911 calls will be answered a little bit faster. And where housing is safe, accessible, and available to all. It's because of our people that over $930 million of our budget goes to pay our people competitive salaries and benefits. Kansas City, and I will know, anybody who's worked with me like Prosecutor Johnson and others know, I can be a little frugal, I can be a little tight sometimes. But Kansas City budgets conservatively. And they budget conservatively thanks to our finance team, our finance chair, Andrea Booth. We spend within our means, and we have either frozen or reduced budgets in a majority of departments and programs for the next fiscal year. We do that to ensure that unlike in other cities, states, and the federal government, that we will have no mass layoffs. We will fulfill our pension obligations. We will give our workers' families the highest quality health care access they deserve, and we will maintain a rainy day fund to match 3 months of operating expenses, a top industry standard. I understand not many will clap, but Tammy, I put that in there for you. As a new mayor, and every now and then, for those of us who've been around for a little while, myself and Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Bunch, and others, we remember being here during the pandemic. We remember staring down the reality of furloughs, the threat of layoffs, and substantial cuts to every department. We weathered that storm, but I pledge then and today that as long as I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, we are never going broke. And so we will make sure that we won't have forced reductions because we couldn't control our spending. We will never stop letting our workers know that through pay, through benefits, through retirement pensions, we appreciate their work. I'm not just telling you I like you. We're not just giving you a star at the end of the day. We're making sure you can take care of your family. And a key part of ensuring that we have the resources to support our workers is renewal of Kansas City's earnings tax this April. That funds our general revenues and guarantees available dollars for public safety, public works, and so many important parts of what the city does. Taking care of our workforce also means that we are better equipped to take care of the people of our community as well. And in survey after survey, the people of Kansas City make clear that they want just a few things from Kansas City to deliver. One, a more affordable place to live, an easier place to live and do business, and a safer place to live, work, and play. Among our greatest transformations over recent years has been the city's investment in housing. A city that looks to help seniors stay in their homes, gets the unhoused into stable, safe, and permanent housing off the street, and that builds new opportunities citywide. Bolstered by support from our voters, the Housing Trust Fund, along with other city tools, is well on its way to producing 10,000 units of housing for Kansas City's an affordable and mixed income development since 2022. That is 10,000 new units for working families, city employees, teachers, nurses, and ensuring that living, aging, or raising a family in Kansas City remains a reality for all. Two recently opened projects show what's possible. In the historic Northeast, in a project brought to us by Councilman Ray and Councilman Bush, the historic Northeast lots on Independence Avenue will deliver almost 400 units of housing in one of the city's largest and most historic East Side structures. In the Northland, the Forest Hill Village transformed an empty elementary school into safe and exceptional housing units for survivors of domestic violence and their children through our Housing Trust Fund investment. On Prospect, Independence Avenue, Woodland, Tracy, Linwood, Brooklyn, and more, we have brought new public and private dollars that invest in the people of our neighborhoods, guarantee the children of our community to know housing stability, and are working with churches, community leaders, schools, and businesses to lift up areas where investment has been too little, too slow, and too late for generations of Kansas Cityans. Housing investments in our next fiscal year also will come as investments in helping our sisters and brothers on the streets find new stable housing opportunities. Something I got to recognize this morning with Mayor Pro Tem Raina Park Shaw and Councilman Jonathan Duncan, along with businesses and philanthropic leaders, as we launched our city's Housing Gateway program to provide rapid rehousing to over 600 Kansas Cityans on the streets, to require coordination among dozens of siloed housing providers who are doing great work but aren't always talking, to make sure City Hall is talking to them, and importantly, Brother May and friends, to ensure that we provide private dollars to make sure that we are addressing the important need in Kansas City. In addition, our budget next year provides over $5 million, not enough, Pastor, but $5 million for year-round emergency shelter investments and homelessness prevention. $2.6 million in our Right to Counsel program for tenants facing eviction, which I believe is America's most successful tenant protection program, saving over 3,000 Kansas Cityans from evictions. And we continue our work, because she won't let us forget, on vacant lots, championed by Councilwoman Melissa Patterson-Haxton. With vacant lots, the city continues to deliver new progress in bringing development to vacant parcels throughout the city, to bring minor home repair opportunities throughout our city, and to ensure Kansas Cityans, particularly older Kansas Cityans, can remain in their neighborhoods and their homes, and that their communities can stay vibrant. New buildings, you see, are great, but we will have no greater legacy from our tenure than the tens of thousands of Kansas Cityans, tens of thousands of people we will launch into better, safer, and more stable housing. And I could not be prouder of our work. Housing also forms the core of economic development, but it is not all that we do. In the West Bottoms, at 18th and Vine, on the riverfront at Parade Park, and with headquarters expansions and investments in the Northland, downtown, and South Kansas City. Our city continues to welcome billions of dollars in new investment, reshaping historic areas, bringing thousands of new residents, and ensuring our city continues to grow. And growth, my friends, is important. Growth in revenues offsets our costs. Growth in our population allows us to enhance our service delivery. And growth is our central role in our region as a cultural crossroads, allows us to continue to drive revenues and build major events. And we can do all of that, delivering the services our citizens deserve without raising taxes, when we continue to invest in growth and economic development. While Pam and her team's work at the 2026 World Cup deservedly will receive much attention, and we are incredibly proud of it, we also want to know that we have other parts of our city that are doing outstanding work each day. A film office that brings Ted Lasso and independent film and television projects worth millions of investment to our production and talent community. New investments at the American Jazz Museum, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, new parks investments, and a walkable residential and retail district along the Missouri River. Programming along Prospect to support locally owned businesses. And, as is essential for the 6th District and all of our region, and eventually reborn Country Club Plaza, which will help shape Kansas City over the next year and the next generation. As part of our growth, our retention of the Kansas City Royals and the only home they've ever known, Kansas City, is a must. The Royals have shared their interest in being downtown, and we welcome them, bringing 81 nights of home game activation a year to downtown Kansas City. Hundreds more days and nights per year of events, conferences, tours, millions of visitors downtown, and forming a key part of the River Crown Plaza redevelopment efforts we have seen in Kansas City since the 1990s. Retaining franchises is not about sports, it's about economic development for our city. Retaining thousands of union jobs in Kansas City, enhancing activity in our urban center, and ensuring downtown Kansas City is forever a place that people, businesses, and visitors want to be and invest. We will get a deal done in 2026 that's fair and transparent for our taxpayers, our future, and our team. Successful cities must remain centers of activity, and Kansas City will continue its progress from the past generation to ensure that downtown continues to grow in business and residential population and in cultural amenities. But as I've shared before, investing in one area should not mean that we forget in another. The Leeds area of Kansas City, the current home of the Royals, the Chiefs, the 2026 World Cup, has known for too many years a life without planning for its future, with too many content to have millions of people come in and out without spending a dollar, without spending the time outside the facility. Let me be clear. The Leeds area and the neighborhoods around it are worthy of our time, our energy, and our investment. Over the next year, we will continue to work with County Executive LaVota, the Jackson County Legislature, the Sports Commission, neighboring communities and independents, Raytown, and the eastern edge of our city, to ensure that we bolster our neighborhoods, that we support the Blue River Valley and the Blue Valley Industrial Area, and that we build workforce development opportunity long-term in an area that has no greatness, crown champions, and that we will ensure sees rebirth again. We have work to do there, no doubt, but the Leeds area and surrounding communities are a proud, working-class, affordable community with good schools, good neighborhoods, and outstanding people. And don't let anyone tell any of y'all anything different. Development also includes improving what we do internally to welcome businesses of all sizes. That is why in the upcoming budget we're investing $500,000 in building and zoning code modernization. Thank you, Brother Mario. To remove barriers and accelerate permitting approvals with an assist from many on our city council. Councilman French has often told me about being a planner and someone who knows the balance of the many different design types we have in our city, from urban, suburban, to rural. We'll also continue our efforts for small business, including our Small Business Task Force, chaired by Councilman Wes Rogers, to remove unnecessary business licensing requirements, to provide funding for businesses through efforts such as the city's Back to Business program, and to integrate small business support and marketing into our KC 2026 efforts. And on development, in a town once called Kansas, Missouri, our city will continue to compete for every business retention or relocation, mindful of competition across our region or across the country. Selective truces with entire industry exceptions, historically large incentives in adjacent communities to develop in empty fields, are not the type of regional cooperation we look for long term. Instead, we will continue to work with leaders like Mayor Watson, like the county executive, to make sure that regionalism also includes working on a place where affordable housing creation is core to economic development, not just a problem of somewhere else. Where we are proud to create opportunities for all, including unabashedly continuing programs to support business and employment growth and success for historically underrepresented Black and brown communities of our region. Where we will work to get people off the streets, not just move somewhere else, and a place where we will continue to enhance our safety for our residents, visitors, for large events, and for shops and neighborhoods just looking to thrive each day. As with past years in Kansas City, public safety investments will form the core of our general fund expenses, constituting 75% of our general fund budget. At the Kansas City Fire Department, we will continue our strong support with regular pay increases for the men and women of the fire service. At KCPD, we will also formulate a 5% budget increase. Our hope is that the Board of Police Commissioners working with us will make sure that they hire an additional 50 officers on top of our numbers today. We'll hire 20 new call takers and dispatchers, and will deliver on officer pay increases with the proposed $363 million budget. We will also work collaboratively to ensure that legal settlements and other costs that have drained on our budget are the sorts of things that we can work beyond to ensure that we can deliver a stable budget that supports our officers and the hard work that they do each day. Recent efforts to build a safer city have indeed yielded strong results. And the year just concluded, homicides fell by 5%, non-fatal shootings fell by 31%, and robberies were down by 27%. The Kansas City Police Department hired its largest recruiting class since 2007. I don't even know what Councilman Willett was doing in 2007. And Chief Stacy Graves has built a robust cooperative relationship with the many stakeholders who will help us realize greater community safety. Like all of our local prosecutors, by the way, including Prosecutor Johnson. Kansas City and its partners are also working to protect families and prevent further harm. Last year, through Save KC, Stand Against Violence Kansas City, our group violence focused deterrence program, we saw that focused coordination and early intervention meaningfully reduced harm and saved lives, leading to material declines in homicides and shootings in East Kansas City. This year, Kansas City will deliver the same approach to domestic violence by implementing an intimate partner violence intervention, focused deterrence program, in partnership with KCPD, the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office, and community service providers. The program will focus on intervening before violence becomes lethal, supporting victims, engaging those who cause harm earlier, and holding individuals accountable when help is refused. Through our municipal court, actually, one thing I want to steal because I love Alana, I'll steal this from our prosecutor. Fix your life, fix it for you. That's what we are looking to make sure we do this year. Through our municipal court, Kansas City is leading innovation to help folks leave a cycle of offense and incarceration and build long-term, lifelong success. We have launched a wellness court, bringing together our drug court and mental health courts to serve individuals struggling with addiction and mental health challenges. We have created a WIN court, Women in Need, giving women with histories of trauma specialized support. We started a care court for our unhoused neighbors who are working hard to get back on their feet. And in our neighborhoods, we have continued to address long-term nuisances. During the summer, I had the fortune of joining KC Gift for a 10-mile walk along the Truce Corridor. It's about a 95-degree day. So it was cool at 6 a.m. By about 6:15, it was hot. But that was all right. There was much promise and there was much progress that we have witnessed. But there were also long-standing neighborhood concerns that I knew back in the day when I was a child in Kansas City. Used car lots with inoperable vehicles blocking sidewalks and alleys and filled with weeds. a decaying former school that as of this week is finally being torn down after 20 years of blight, squatters, break-ins, and trash buildup in a proud Kansas City community. You see, folks don't need to get used to looking raggedy around their house or their neighborhood. Kansas Cityans don't have to grow accustomed to sleeping or working across the street from parking lots where everybody's getting shot up. Through our Public Safety Task Force, through our collaboration with our prosecutors, with KCPD and others, we will continue to work closely to ensure a high neighborhood quality of life for every single Kansas City neighborhood. Your zip code should not be a determinant to how you are able to live, be a part of this community, and succeed each day. I'm proud of City Council for joining me on that. I'm proud of our departments for doing that work. And we also recognize that safety includes ensuring Kansas City is easier and safer to traverse through no matter how you commute. In the year ahead, we will deliver over $4 million for Vision Zero improvements, targeting the corridors where crashes happen most often, and making them safer for pedestrians to walk, and making it more likely that people survive as they travel through our city. I will admit, I'll be fair to all of you, it's getting harder to speed through the city incredibly quickly. It's harder to go fast, place to place. And maybe it's just me as a parent. I'm proud to be in a city where my 4-year-old and I can walk through our streets without fear for our safety, where right turns and school zones are banned, where our peers and wheelchairs can get around. And I want to make sure I thank Councilman Bunch for teaching me the gospel of all of this, who's been a leader on this issue for years, who once told me that he does the work not to slow anybody down, not to get in the way, not to force them to traverse in a different way, but to make things a little bit safer and a little bit better for someone to get around. I thank you, Council. I also want to thank and recognize Russell Dorn. What up, Russell? Hey! Russell is a sixth grader from the Center School District in South Kansas City. He came before City Council to support an ordinance eliminating right turns on red in school zones. Russell lives within walking distance of his elementary school, but has never been allowed to walk to school because he'd have to cross a busy Holmes Road, a street, by the way, on our high entry network. He told us about his friend at Red Ridge Elementary who uses a wheelchair and whose family has to plan their route based on where sidewalks exist. We should have sidewalks for all of them. We should make sure it's safe to get around. And Russell even told us how he's been nearly hit by cars in the school pickup line. Russell advocated for a more comprehensive look at transportation safety. Sidewalks, bike lanes, crossing guards, and traffic calming. And he's right. We're listening, Russell, and we thank you for your courage and your leadership. Ensuring Kansas Cityans have more ways to get around was also a key success of our last year and an investment for next year. The streetcar's extension south to UMKC and the Country Club Plaza has transported hundreds of thousands of riders in mere months of operation. The Riverfront extension is set to open before the summer's World Cup, connecting venues, housing, and entertainment for Kansas Cityans and our guests. But Kansas City will not stop. That's why I have Bishop here, because I have answers for him today. Kansas City will not stop at North-South connections, but we will continue to study work already underway with east-west connections from the crossroads to 18th and Vine, and connecting the main line with our friends in Kansas City, Kansas. Our bus system at KCATA will also receive steady support over the year ahead, ensuring continuous operations. Long-term financial help for the regional system, supported primarily by the tax dollars of Kansas Cityans, will of course call for expanded regional support. We will work with the KCATA leadership to find ways to maintain quality service that supports all of our people throughout the region, no matter where they will work. And as we transition to functionally free fare bus transit, we look forward to supporting KCATA and institutions who, like before, ensure that all riders of school age, riders leaving shelters, could get, and minors of moderate means had access to transit and movement throughout our city. And for those who, like me and many of us, drive or ride in personal vehicles each day, the city will continue our historic investment in road resurfacing for our community. Aaron, who works with asphalt, will still have work to do. This year's budget will invest $30.9 million to resurface an estimated 300 lane miles of our streets, because whether you take the bus, drive, bike, or walk, you deserve infrastructure that works. By the end of the coming fiscal year, we will have resurfaced over 40% of our city, or nearly 2,500 lane miles of the city's roads since our term started together in 2019. I also want to recognize that when we resurface, we do special things, like the road reconstruction we're seeing on Southwest Boulevard. Thank you, Councilman Ray and Bunch. Like safe routes to school work we're seeing on North Congress, Northeast 104th Street, and long overdue work we needed on North Oak Traffic Way. Making Kansas City a safer place also includes improving our playgrounds, our parks, and our neighborhoods. At East Kansas City and en route to the stadiums, and I hope all of you stop to see it along Stadium Drive, we're doing a complete renovation of Senator Yvonne Stark's Wilson Park, which will feature new playgrounds, basketball courts, and soccer fields. We have new soccer fields at 9th and Van Brunt. Ms. Kramer, the city manager, and I got to be there for an opening celebration for it. It was about 5 degrees outside, but the kids were still out having fun. We will make sure that kids in every part of Kansas City have access to the beautiful game without the high costs that you see in other facilities. And thanks to a steady nudge and reminder for the Dean of the 5th District, Councilman Curls, we continue to see improvements at the Southeast Community Center that helped us renovate the indoor pool there, and we will continue to see parks improvements in every neighborhood of Kansas City. He often mentions the 5th District, but by mentioning that district, he makes sure that our spending is equitable in every part of our city. Our next budget will continue on parks and recreation progress and ensure investments in trees with funding. We've already done 10,000 trees planted, but we'll plant even more, improving our air quality, reducing heat islands, managing stormwater, and beautifying our city. So we're doing a lot. It is an amazing time to be in Kansas City. But stripped down to the basics, like I started, our budget is about our people. How can we take care of the people building and sustaining our city? How can we ensure Kansas City has opportunity without high barriers for businesses to grow and succeed? How can safety be a reality in every Kansas City neighborhood? How can we ensure that a renter doesn't have to live in filth and mold in our city? How can we make sure that every Kansas Citian knows that they are welcome and they belong? The last question has kept me up a lot lately. You see, our goal is for people here, whether you were born here like me or whether you just came yesterday, to be able to succeed. Every step of my journey and the steps of journeys for many of you involves someone telling you that you belong, someone telling you that you are safe here, someone telling you that you are welcome here. And Kansas City will continue to do that over the next year. If you have the greatest business idea but need some investment, need some encouragement, need some collaboration, you are welcome here. If you have known challenge or tragedy or on the winding road of recovery, you are welcome here. If you are fleeing bigotry of a former home and seeking acceptance of who you are or who you love, you are welcome here. If you are worried that you can't afford a new roof or worried that you can't keep up, know that our programs and our staff are working to ensure that you are welcome here. If you are a traveler from Argentina or anywhere else, if we ever talk about base camps again, then know that we are in a position to welcome you here. If you are working your level best to survive, to take care of your kids, to send money and support to family perhaps in another country or far away, you are welcome here. If you, like so many in this room, feel a calling to serve your neighbors, to protect our community, you are welcome here. If you have fear for your family and your friends, know that you are welcome here. In a different language, si tienes miedo tu familia y tus amigos, sabes que aquí eres bienvenido. If you seek calm from a global and national political world of chaos and conflict, you are welcome here. And if you are trying to just get up each day and do right by your family, your faith, your job, and yourself, you are welcome here. I'm going to go off script for a minute, because I grew up here. I was raised by somebody who I know was trying to make sure that we could get by, that we could survive, that we could succeed. And I'm so proud I'm here today, but more proud of the people in the community who invested in me. So I'll make the lady who sometimes is called First Mama, my mother, Quincy Bennett, stand up and be recognized. She doesn't like the attention, but she'll like the investment in the leads area part of my speech. For 175 years, America has said that the state of our city is in a strong position. And despite the Civil War, the global conflicts, the pandemics, the protests at times have torn us apart. The flight of some of our neighbors, the oppression and marginalization of too many others. We have been strong. You, the people of Kansas City, have welcomed new generations, new businesses, new success, and the growth that the world will see this summer as Kansas City, one of America's great cities and great stories, is on display. The people of this community welcomed a black family from Alabama generations ago, allowed me to stand at this lectern today. The people of this community have welcomed artists whose drawings and whose ballads have changed the world. The people of this community have welcomed new businesses that would fuel the success of thousands near and far. The people of this community today stand for the best of America. Our diverse peoples, our hard work, our kindness, and our perseverance. So no matter who you are, where you're from, where you're going, or what you're dealing with, you belong here. You are welcome here. And together the state of your city, our city, is strongest when you thrive. Our local government, my colleagues and I, our budget, we are here to support you. We're excited to get to work for more great moments and successes, large and small, ahead in 2026 and 2027 in Kansas City. And more importantly, we are all excited to see your success, our success, in a place that we are blessed to call home. Thank you all so very much. God bless you, and continue to help build an outstanding Kansas City. Thank you all so very much.